Yo, YouTube, what's up with your boy? Sports and Fitness Rants. I'm back, guys. Click that like button. Subscribe to my channel. What's up, y'all? Welcome back, guys. Welcome back. Got another great video for you guys today. As usual, you guys know the deal on this channel, man. We must continue to set the record straight, stop the lies, stop the narratives, stop them from rewriting history, y'all. You guys know the deal on this channel, man. And we're going to continue to set the record straight today, and we're going to be talking about Elgin Baylor. That's right, ladies and gentlemen. Elgin Baylor, man, the Lakers great, the all-time legend, small forward that played for the Minneapolis Lakers and then the Los Angeles Lakers for, I believe, 14 seasons, man. 10-time All-NBA, man, Hall of Famer, man. We're going to talk about Elgin Baylor. Put some respect on this man because, man, I told you guys, man, sometimes you learn things, you look at some of this stuff, man, like I said, man, and they must continue to tear down past errors, call these guys taxi cab drivers and plumbers, all those kinds of things. We're going to put some respect on my man Elgin Baylor because this man is vastly underrated and just never talked about, never mentioned, man, with the all-time great players, man. And we're going to talk about in this video, guys. And I want to thank everyone out there, everyone across the world, everyone across the states has been supporting my channel, man. Once again, guys, I am truly humbled. Much respect to all you guys out there, guys, for real, man, for rolling with me, for standing up. And you guys know what to do, man. Turn the volume all the way up. Hit that play button. Remember, these videos are for educational purposes. And let's roll. So, yes, guys, like I said, man, I want to put some shine on Elgin Baylor, man, the Los Angeles Lakers great that played for, like I said, 14 seasons, I believe, for the Los Angeles Lakers. His number 22 is retired by the Los Angeles Lakers franchise. And, you know, one of the reasons why I like to do some of these videos on some of the, you know, older players, guys, like I said, I never grew up watching Elgin Baylor. He's way before my time, man. But I've done videos on guys like a Pistol Pete Maravich. I've done a video on him. I've done a video on Jerry West, Elgin Baylor's teammate. And the reason why I like to do these videos, man, is once again to put some highlights and put some respect on these guys, because all we seem to hear now is that guys who have played previously, these guys were no good. The guys were plumbers, taxi cab drivers. These guys couldn't dribble. These guys couldn't shoot. All of these things. That's what you hear now about a lot of these past players, especially the guys who played in the 50s and the 60s, like an Elgin Baylor. And I've told you guys on this channel, man, for me, I've never slept on Elgin Baylor, man. Once again, I told you guys, man, put some respect on these men. I have Elgin Baylor. I've always had Elgin Baylor as a top 5 small forward in the history of the NBA. But now doing some research, you know, to make this video, I have to maybe, you know, rethink it. I have him right now at number 5 all time as a small forward on my list. But I might need to change that, and I might need to move him into top 3, man. I might need to move him into top 3. Listen, man, I don't know, guys, because right now I got Larry Bird, I got Dr. J, and I got LeBron James, man. And then I got John Havlicek and Elgin Baylor. Those are the 5 guys I see at the small forward position as the greatest players. Now, for me, I'm getting to the point where I might have to disqualify LeBron James from being in these conversations with these guys, man. I just don't know if I could be honest with it anymore, man. And just, like I said, look at myself in the mirror and be like, you know what, man? I'm going to argue with LeBron James. He's the number 3 small forward, man. Or he's number 2 small forward of all time. Or he's maybe arguing for Larry Bird's a great small. I don't know, guys. But as it relates to Elgin Baylor, man, I might need to put this man at number 3, right behind Bird, Dr. J. I might need to put Elgin Baylor right there, man. If you told me you thought Elgin Baylor was the greatest small forward of all time, I don't even know if I could argue with that, man. Yo, this man is sensational. Listen, I'm telling you guys right now, man, when you look into some of this stuff, you do the research, man. Yo, shout out to the Will Chamberlain Archive, I believe is the YouTube channel. I watched some of the videos that this person has on their channel. And my goodness, man, you know, a lot of people don't realize as it pertains to Elgin Baylor, man, his overall game, this man had a great overall game. But what they don't really know about Elgin Baylor is that without Elgin Baylor, we do not get Michael Jordan, guys. We do not get this man. Without Elgin Baylor, we do not get Dr. J. And without Dr. J, we do not get the Michael Jordans, man. We do not get these players. We don't get the Kobe Bryants, man. You know what I'm saying? We don't get these guys. And a lot of people don't realize that. When you watch Elgin Baylor play, what you'll see is a lot of things that you see Michael Jordan doing. You know, I didn't go watching Dr. J, but as it pertains to what I know and I was watching Michael Jordan do, I see a lot of Elgin Baylor there, man. You know what I'm saying? Elgin Baylor was known for floating, for having the hang time, guys. Not like Michael Jordan. You know what I'm saying? We know Michael Jordan put it on another level. But Elgin Baylor was known as that guy in the 60s. He was known as that dude by the Bill Russells, the Will Chamberlains. You know what I'm saying? The other great players of that era. They knew about this man. So when you think about Elgin Baylor, we have to automatically think about a Dr. J. Because I remember, and I've heard many articles or interviews, with Dr. J, stating that, that's who he wanted to be. That was who he emulated on the court. It was Elgin Baylor inspiring him, to do these things. Remember, these guys are pioneers. Elgin Baylor was a pioneer. When I've talked to you guys about guys like Bob Cousy and how they're pioneers at these things, even though they want to call them taxi cab drivers and plumbers, can't dribble with the left hand, things like that. These guys were pioneers. They were the first to do these things. Elgin Baylor was a pioneer. He was the first to do these things. People said that he was the first unstoppable scorer in NBA's history. Remember, he came in the year before Will Chamberlain came in, and he was the rookie of the year, right? Averaged I think 24, 25 points a game as a rookie, like 13 rebounds, 14 rebounds, whatever it was. And this man had a great overall game, but he was unstoppable. You could not stop Elgin Baylor. He was known as the first great one-on-one basketball player. You couldn't stop him. He had the turnaround jump shot. I mean, he never even had to have his feet set. When you watch Elgin Baylor, his shots, his feet are never set. And the man's just out there jacking it from the mid-range, jaying it. This man can shoot. Remember, there's no three-point lines back in these days. Elgin Baylor was knocking down the jumper, man. In an era where guys could put two hands on you, they could push you. It was more physical, right? These guys didn't have the great sneakers that they had today back in the 50s and the 60s. So when you see someone like an Elgin Baylor doing some of the moves he was doing on the court, like I said, he was a pioneer to guys like a Dr. J, like Michael Jordan. You don't get those players without Elgin Baylor and the things that he showed on the basketball court that was possible, right? That's why Dr. J said, when I watched Elgin Baylor, I wanted to go out and try to do those things. So how would Dr. J know what to do or what was possible without looking at someone like an Elgin Baylor and learning from what was possible? This is what Elgin Baylor did, guys. Like I said, he had the turnaround jump shot. He had the jump shot in general, right? He had the clutch game. I'm telling you right now, he had the creative finishes down low, like the Dr. J's, like the Michael Jordans. No, they're not the same when you look at the creativity or the poetry in motion, the artistry of a Michael Jordan. It's on another level. This is what we always talk about with Michael Jordan. But Elgin Baylor was the first of that. He was the one that was doing these things. I'm telling you right now, he was the one known for hanging in the air, for changing the shot as he's going up. And once again, guys, when we think about Elgin Baylor, it's not just a scoring prowess. Like I said, you can argue he's the greatest scoring player at his position, one of the all-time great scorers, right? Third or fourth highest scoring average in NBA's history, Elgin Baylor, right? His rookie season, guys, he led the Lakers to the NBA Finals as a rookie, guys. Led the Lakers to the finals and lost against the Boston Celtics, guys, as a rookie. This was Elgin Baylor. Jerry West came into the Lakers on Elgin Baylor's third season, right? And Elgin Baylor, once again, a lot of people don't realize that he had an overall game, right? He was one of the great rebounders, maybe even perhaps the greatest rebounder at his position, right? This man, 6'4", 6'5", was rebounding out there with the Giants, with the big men, the Bob Pettis, the Bill Russells, the Will Chamberlains, man. He was banging down there with the Gus Johnsons. Right? He was down there with these guys battling for the rebounds. One of the great rebounders, like I said, perhaps the greatest rebounder at his position. This is Elgin Baylor, guys. But he also had the playmaking abilities. So I believe his first several seasons, two out of his first 3 seasons, even the first season that Jerry West got to the Lakers, Elgin Baylor led the team in assists, averaging, I believe, about 5.5 assists per game. This was Elgin Baylor, also averaging, 38 points, 35 points per game, 17, 18 rebounds out here. Elgin Baylor, I believe, in the 62 season, averaged 38 points a game. I believe he averaged about 19 or 20 rebounds, almost 19.8 rebounds, I believe. In some seasons, he averaged about 18 rebounds, 16 rebounds, 13 rebounds. This is Elgin Baylor, guys. Like I said, down low, banging with the big guys, right? And he had the quickness. He had that first step on the drive. Left hand or right hand, guys. These guys could go either way. These guys were not limited to going one arm, one hand, or another. Remember, the way the game was officiated back in them days, these guys couldn't do all the fancy crossover moves and the hesitation dribbles, things of that nature. So to an untrained eye, right, to someone who doesn't appear or know, these guys might look like, oh, it's simple and basic. These guys, someone like an Elgin Baylor, had the skills, the overall game, man. And like I said, the impact he had on the court. We all know about him and Jerry West, the tandem, one of the great duos in the history of the game, right? Battling against the Celtics essentially every single year in the NBA Finals, right? Elgin Baylor never beating the Celtics, never winning that championship, retiring the season that they won, right? When they eventually would get a Will Chamberlain, but Elgin Baylor would retire, battling with the injuries, things of that nature. So he was never really on the championship team, won a championship, but they all know that Elgin Baylor is a true champion because he always played with the heart, the grit. Like I said, the swag, man, the showmanship. This dude was gliding all over the court. Go watch some Elgin Baylor film. I'm telling you guys right now, this dude was legit. Like I said, legit, going against the all-time greats. Elgin Baylor, doesn't have any scoring titles per se, because we must remember, when he came in as a rookie, I believe Bob Pettit won the the scoring title that season. I believe he averaged about 24 points a game, Elgin Baylor, as a rookie. And I believe Bob Pettit averaged about 29, 30 points a game and won the scoring title. But we all know who came into the NBA the following season. That would be Wilt Chamberlain. So you're not winning scoring titles over Wilt Chamberlain, who won 7 consecutive scoring titles, which would coincide with Elgin Baylor's peak. That's the peak of Elgin Baylor from the season he came in the league, 1959, all the way until about 69. That's Elgin Baylor, 59 to 69. 10 years, all NBA first team, man. Elgin Baylor. To me, like I said, guys, I got to revamp my thinking. From what I've researched, from what I've seen, this man was sensational. Like I said, guys, I did not realize the things that he was doing on the court. We're talking about behind the back passes, guys. In the passing lanes, creating steals, right? Elgin Baylor's not known for the two-way play. Remember, they don't keep track steals and blocks when Elgin Baylor played. So Elgin Baylor, man, in the video footage I've seen, this man was getting steals, right? The quickness, like I said, he had the quick first step, man. Right? He had that quick first step. It looked like he would get right by guys. And like I said, he had the ability to jump in the air, hang, change the shot in the air. He was doing these things. In 59, 60, 61, he was doing those things, guys. Put some respect on Elgin Baylor, man. I'm so tired of hearing people talk about these past eras. Like I said, even way beyond what I've seen. But they must talk about these guys as if they were not good, as if they were not playing basketball back then. That's basketball. They're not carrying the ball. Elgin Baylor's not carrying the ball. Look at Elgin Baylor's footwork. Watch it. He's not traveling. You see this man in the triple threat position. You see him use the pivot step. Come on, man. You see him dribbling the ball. They're not doing this. That's what you see Elgin Baylor doing. The turnaround jump shot. They ain't no three-point line. These guys were balling. These guys could push you with 2 hands. Elgin Baylor, all these guys, Wilt Chamberlain, they talked about these things. The physical nature of the game back then. I remember hearing Elgin Baylor in an interview. They were talking about his scoring prowess. And they asked him about his post-up and where he would like to post up the basketball and things like that. And I remember he said something that caught me. He said, you couldn't go too low because that's where Bill Russell was. That's what he said. You couldn't go down too low because that's where Bill Russell was. So he knew about these guys, man. This is what Elgin Baylor was going against. He knew about the Wilt Chamberlains that was down there. He knew about the Nate Thurmans. He knew about those guys down low. So he knew you couldn't go down there too low and post up because that's down in Bill Russell world. These guys were true competitors, man. Elgin Baylor's a true competitor, guys. Always carried himself with class. Anytime I heard Elgin Baylor speak, anytime I hear people speak about him, nothing but respect. A true professional. Once again, carrying himself with the honor, the integrity, the class. Shout out to Elgin Baylor, man, for real. To me, top 20 easily, greatest player in NBA's history, guys. You must have Elgin Baylor in your top 20 all-time list. Hell, if you told me it was top 10, I'm not arguing it. I'm not arguing it, guys. This man was sensational, guys. No, he doesn't have the winning, the championships per se, but we all know him and Jerry West, it's the same kind of thing. They battled, man, against one of the all-time great dynasties in the history of sports. They battled. They never folded up. They just kept coming back, man. Elgin Baylor played, like I said, man, people try to knock the 60s and stuff. Like, when you think when Elgin Baylor played, like I said, this man should have multiple scoring titles, but he didn't because he's playing in an era with the great Wilt Chamberlain, who's averaging 50 points a game in a season, throwing up all kinds of insane numbers. It's like when Michael Jordan was going in the 90s, guys, in early and late in those 80s, guys like Dominique Wilkins and Karl Malone, they were robbed of multiple scoring titles. Karl Malone probably had like 3 or 4 scoring titles. Same thing with Dominique Wilkins. But it was Michael Jordan's dominance, which is why some of these guys don't have the hardware or the accolades per se, but they have the respect and they have the on-court game on the video footage that we watched. So when you see Elgin Baylor, the things that he was doing on the court, guys, nobody else was doing these things. Nobody was doing these before Elgin Baylor. Like I said, he was the first unstoppable player right before Wilt Chamberlain came in, man. One of the great one-on-one players in the history of the game. He had the mid-range game, the touch around the rim, the creativity. When you see him doing these things, pumping it to one hand, pumping it and throwing it up, hanging in the air and shooting it. The rebounding of Elgin Baylor, the hustle of Elgin Baylor, the passing lanes, blocking shots. I saw it all. This man was sensational, like I said, guys. So shout out to Elgin Baylor once again, and all the great players that played in the 60s, man. These guys were out there battling, man, under harsh conditions. Under real harsh conditions. Not like these soft dudes now want to act like they're on the level of an Elgin Baylor and some of the other great players, like I said, that played in those conditions, man. You guys know the deal, man. Once again, we must continue to set the record straight on these guys. Stop the lies and the narratives, man. Stop them from rewriting the history. Elgin Baylor is one of the most underrated players, man. You know what I'm saying? One of the forgotten stars, man. Superstars. One of the forgotten, probably the most forgotten great in the history of the NBA. I'm telling you guys right now, there's no Dr. J, there's no Michael Jordan, man, without Elgin Baylor. And a lot of people don't realize that. I did not realize that. So once again, shout out to the Wilt Chamberlain Archive, I believe is the name of it, the YouTube channel. Shout out to them. They got some straight up, like I said, just quality stuff on there with some of these guys from back in the day, man. Like I said, just watch it. You'll be amazed. I told you, these guys, remember, watch it under the scope, the lens that you're watching. Pioneers. Pioneers. These guys didn't have TVs to go watch the highlights of the guys before them, to study film on guys before. They were the guys. They were them. Remember that. And you guys know the deal, man. I'll catch you guys on the next one.